So this update is actually 2 months late, but as they say, it's better late than never. So last year I made a progress update regarding everything personal finance. I talked about my goals, paying off my student loans, growing my dividend portfolio, and also building up my savings. So for this video, we're going to do exactly just that, but we're looking at my year 2 progress. We're gonna go over what's happening with my student loans, what's happening with my stock portfolio, and also my savings fund. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dred and I post personal finance and dividend investing videos and pretty much anything related to money. But right now I am documenting my journey in paying off my student loans. So if you're interested in seeing how everything unfolds or you just want to show your support, then please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and also sharing this one. Now with that out of the way, let's dive in. So for my first year in personal finance, I had 3 main goals. The first one is paying off my student loans. The second one is building my stock portfolio or my dividend portfolio. And the third one is building my emergency savings fund. So let's go over the very first one, which is my student loans. So in my last update back in September 2020, I was still tackling the last student loan in my Sallie Mae account. The balance was around $6,000 and it was quite an intense battle for me because it took me 8 months to actually pay it off. It really felt like it took a very long time to pay that small amount because at that time the weekly payments that I had was the only one that I could afford. But despite all of the stress and the frustration that Sallie Mae had brought into my life, I was finally able to say goodbye to her at least 2 months earlier than I expected. So in my list of student loans, Sallie Mae has been crossed out now. And by the way, I'm not supposed to add September and October in my progress update because I started my journey in August. But since I am late and I still haven't done the exact numbers for my student loans, I'm just gonna add these 2 months. Anyway, I moved on to tackle College Avenue, which at that time had a balance of $2,800. For that account, I used to pay $15 every week and then bumped it up to $140 every week once I finished Sallie Mae. For that student loan, I estimated that I would pay it off in the middle of November of this year. So I did my best to pay that consistently every week and make sure that any extra funds that I got was put into that student loan. And then I was lucky enough to pay off College Avenue just last September. Now, if you think about that, it's 2 months earlier again than what I initially thought. So with that, College Avenue is now gone from my list of student loans. Now that I've finished all of my private loans, Sallie Mae and College Avenue are gone off the list. I am now fully focused on paying off my federal student loans. Now the great thing about paying for your federal student loans right now is that we are still on a payment pause. This means that interest isn't accruing on those loans and I can really target the principal balance and pay the loans faster. But once the payment pause ends, the interest will start accruing again and then the payoff will be a lot slower. Now after finishing College Avenue, the very first federal loan that I worked on was Group D in Ed Financial. It had a balance of $654 and I made 165 weekly payments to it, and then after 4 weeks of consistent payments, I finally paid it off just this October. And so there you go guys, that's another student loan crossed off my list. Now that the first federal loan has been paid off, I moved on to my second federal loan, which is Group B. When I started, Group B had a balance of $1,777 and I moved to increase my weekly payments to $180. And so far, I've only made 1 weekly payment for this account, which happened last week. Aside from Group B, I still have 2 federal student loans, which is Group A and Group C. Those 2 are the last 2 loans in my list and I will be tackling them next year and hopefully pay them all off also next year. So in my 2020 to 2021 timeline, this is what I have done with my student loans. I've fully paid off my 2 private student loans, which is Sallie Mae and College Avenue. And then the next one is that I've paid off one of my federal student loans, which is Group D from Ed Financial. So in my last update, my student loan balance was at $20,830. Now, which is October, my student loan balance is at $10,509. That translates to an amount of $10,321 throughout that time. Compared to my first year in personal finance where I paid $6,570 for my student loans, for this year I paid $3,751 more. So out of 8 student loans, I have 3 student loans left, and if I pay off Group B this year, that means I would have paid 4 student loans in just 1 year. But right now, I am not focused in adding any extra funds to my student loans. Instead, any extra funds that I get will be put into my savings accounts. So that's it for my student loans. Let's move on to my stock portfolio. So the main goal of growing this portfolio has always been to grow its dividends because I want to earn passive income from it. Last year, from August 2019 to August 2020, my portfolio paid me $382.57 in dividends. But for this year, from the beginning of September 2020 to the end of August 2021, my portfolio paid me $386.54 in dividends, which is pretty much a $4 increase. And I know that is a very small and disappointing increase, but what I found was that it was all because of January 2021. Compared to last year, January of this year saw dividends of $50.54. That month was $17 less compared to last year, and the stock to blame for that was GNL. If they hadn't cut their dividends, I would have gotten the same dividends or maybe even a bigger amount for January. But really though, there is no point in worrying about this one because what matters most is the bottom line increase. If I continue to reinvest and contribute to my portfolio every month, the dividends will surely increase as well year after year, and then my portfolio will grow in value. And speaking of value, last year my portfolio was at $5,434. Back then I was investing using two stock platforms, which is TD Ameritrade and Webull. And since then I've decided to stick to just one platform and move all of my stocks to Webull. So at the end of August this year, my portfolio was now valued at $7,388.24. That is a 35.96% growth that already includes my reinvested dividends and monthly contributions. The market is bouncing back a little bit, and then I'm seeing growth primarily in my REIT stocks, which is O, Stag, SCHH, and Good. And to kind of give you an update on what my positions are, here they are. I have ABBV at 3 shares, ABR at 10 shares, EPD at 20 shares, GNL at 78 shares, Good at 47 shares, LFT at 25 shares, Main at 7 shares, NYCB at 16 shares, O at 11 shares, PCI at 20 shares, SCHH at 2 shares, Stag at 36 shares, NT at 30 shares. So the plan for this portfolio is to obviously continue growing its dividends by adding more to these positions or maybe add a completely new one. Right now, since my main focus is on my student loans, I'm only contributing $100 every month to this portfolio. I know it's a very small amount, but I know that if I'm consistent in investing, this account will grow. So that's it for my stock portfolio. Let's move on to my savings. So building your savings is always a great idea because you'll never know when you will need money to cover for emergency expenses. Throughout my second year in personal finance, my emergency savings has been one of the goals that I've been working on. When I recorded my update video last year, I had a savings balance of $1,100 only in Wealthfront. But now I have two high yield savings accounts, which is in Ally and Yota Savings. I made a decision to move to those two banks because Wealthfront's savings rate had plummeted and those two banks were offering better savings rates. Combined, I have a savings amount of $4,732. That is obviously $3,600 more, and it's a very big growth, and you can blame the stimulus checks for that. I am very happy that that is where my savings are at right now, but I have a goal to hit $6,000 in emergency savings before the year ends. So basically, I am temporarily refocusing everything to my savings goals until I hit that and then move back to my student loans. Now, I only have 2 months left, but I believe in myself that I can make it and I will hit 6,000 before the year ends. And that's all I got for you guys. Those are the updates for my second year in personal finance, and thank you so much for watching the entire video. Guys, if you like these update videos and also are in the same journey as me, please let's support each other, subscribe to the channel, like, and also share this one. Comment any questions you have because I might be able to give you some answers. And also if you're on Instagram, please add me there as a friend at DailyDread so that we can chat, collaborate, and maybe even exchange some ideas. Thank you guys again for watching the video. I hope you have a wonderful day and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.